Hey, ladies, we all do scary things, but when does that scary thing become the norm for you? And when it does, do you take on more scary things? For example, some of us here never like to go on camera. I'm not going to point out to two of the out of the three people. They were scared to do that. I'm not sure why. Oh yeah, I do know why. Anyways, now you can't shut us up.
I love
So,
that you say that.
so it's no longer scary to go on camera, but have we replaced that norm with something new and something scary? So, what about that, ladies?
Did you, Tracy?
I think I have. I think I have. Yeah. Because I again it's the my opinions and I'm that's still in between. Like I'm putting them out there, but I still have to get stronger where I really, really don't give a crap what you think about it. And I'm halfway. I'm halfway there. So I'm not in a comfort zone yet there, but I'm really working hard to get there. And
That's
you,
awesome.
Tracy?
Of course, yes. Let's see, what have I done? I've done a lot of different things that have been super scary. It's really interesting. I started off this year where I had been very ill during the month of December. And I thought to myself, I'm going to give myself some 30-day challenges throughout this entire year. And not that I necessarily know what all of these 30-day challenges are because I don't, but the one that I did know that I was going to start off with was I was going to go walking every day for 30 days because I had pneumonia and my cardio had just completely left me. I was in like really a bad way. And I didn't care what the walk looked like. It didn't have to be pretty. It didn't have to be at a certain speed. It was just, this is what I'm going to do. And the scariest part for me about doing these challenges is having my own back and following through on what it is I say I'm going to do. Because it is so much easier when you have somebody else that you're either doing it for or is helping you along the way. And Michelle helped me greatly with that 30 days because she became my accountability partner in that. And I have since, like every so often I go, I'm going to add something else. I'm going to do 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 something else. So I have like 8 or 9 things that I'm currently do. That's probably too many. I have a whole bunch of things that I currently do right now that I do as my 30-day challenges. And the hardest part was only doing one thing for the first 30 days because my tendency and how I always sabotage myself is, oh, well, once you start doing it and you get into that groove, like being on camera and it's no longer a problem, it's like, oh, well, I can do more. I can do more. I can do more. I can do more. And that very first challenge, I made sure that I did nothing other than that one thing because I promised myself I was going to do one thing at a time. And that first thing I had to complete before I added anything else into it.
Mm.
So yeah, I've done a lot of uh scary things. And I think the point of it is that it's how you grow, right? I think if you're not constantly either reevaluating what's important to you so you can do new things or, creating mini challenges for yourself or, whatever it looks like, doing another race, you know, taking on a new job, like all of those things, you're going to become super complacent in life. And then really, what do you have to look forward to?
Mm.
What's going to drive you the next morning to want to get through that day if you're not growing and you're not inspired and you're not trying for something? I mean, it doesn't have to be Mount Everest, but it could be, the walk up the driveway. You know what I mean? Like I think I think it's what keeps us going is to constantly be, okay, I did this, now what's the next thing? I did this, now what's the next thing?
So for me, first off, I want to congratulate the two Tracys out of the three because they're the ones who wanted to, when we met and how we formed, was to be uncomfortable and um, get our faces more out in the camera. And I was doing that a little bit more before you guys came on to, we started doing this. But I've watched the two of you just completely like blossom. Like sometimes we've talked about, I think we should go back to like the very first two episodes and we'll rewatch them. But so I want to commend both of you because you both took that step and it was a progression. It wasn't like we did a couple episodes and you're like, oh, I can do this. There was this progression. And that's what happens with scary stuff. It's a progression that sometimes you don't even realize that's happening, but you start building. And to your point, Tracy E, oh, you keep adding to your 30-day challenge. And I think it's something we've all three talked about in past episodes because the more action you take, the more confident you become. And not that you become skilled, because every time we do something that's scary, it's most likely something we're not proficient in.
Mhm.
So that's why it's scary. But you are more confident that you possibly can step into that role unconfident. That makes sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. And for myself, yeah, I was sitting here thinking of you guys. And yes, I did my race, and that was an uncomfortable expectation. And I had to get out. And I was like, so what have I done lately that I'm scared? Like, have I really done anything? And there's something I'm working on that I want to do, and I keep putting it off, and that's over here. But there is something I have done. I have um, become part of a nonprofit organization that raises money down in this area for the Foundation of Fighting Blindness. And it's a chapter that raises money for that goes up to the national office, but then comes back down to our area that goes into research for macular degeneration or other different blindness or eye diseases. And so I kind of got placed on this committee through a friend, but then I had to do some things where I had to be extremely uncomfortable. Like at our big gala, I ran a costume jewelry table to raise money. I had to ask for costume jewelry. I had to I had to build this whole thing. So that was uncomfortable in front of these people. Like it was just this whole gala thing. And now they have asked me, hopefully within the next year to year and a half, to possibly take over all of the fundraising with the help of this committee because somebody wants to step back. And I am like, that's not my background, but I'm like, so what? It's not your background.
Mhm.
So what? Like, I'm like, you can, like, you're just going to do this. Like, this chapter needs a leader. And like, be uncomfortable, Michelle. just be uncomfortable.
That's
So
awesome.
Yeah,
that's
that's
what I'm
very
in
cool.
the scariness of right now. Like, okay, just like, not just do it. Like, just go in uncomfortable. Like, that's where my next uncomfortableness is. So I think all three of us are like, wow, that's scary. And then, oh, wait a minute, though. I've already done this and this. Okay, it's scary.
Until it's not. Until it's not.
Right.
That's it. Yeah. I think you got to feel the fear and do it anyway, right? It's just like one of those, okay, yeah, I'm scared. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. And the reason that we're typically scared or feeling uncomfortable is because of what we think is going to happen to us, the judgment that's going to be placed on us. Falling flat on our face and what will people think and like all of that. I mean, ultimately, if we honestly didn't care about expectations of others in any form, it wouldn't be scary.
Mhm.
No. And the expectations that we have from others are just the stories that we're telling ourselves. Unless somebody walked right over to you and said, Michelle, I'm making you president of this foundation and you must not fail me. Like, I'm like, unless somebody came right out and said that, had that conversation, that's a story I am telling myself
Yeah.
on what I think someone else is thinking. And that's where I think we start choking.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do this.
Well, you think
You
of
know?
anything you've done scary. Do you look back and go, oh, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done it. Right. I can't think of anything you know, have I been embarrassed about certain things? Perhaps, but that's just life. But anything you've done that's scary, I've never ever had like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's always the better on the other side.
And here's another thing. I'm going to go change it a little bit. I think we need to show more. We need to be more vulnerable and show ourselves doing something scary and possibly making a mistake or even failing at it. We need to be more open to showing other people that so other people feel more comfortable with that. We have to make doing things that scare us a comfort instead of we have to move forward with that. And like I was talking with somebody yesterday and we were talking about something and she says, well, I really want my daughter to be proud of me. So I keep trying to do these things. And I'm like, time out. She's already proud of you because she's watching you not be perfect. She's watching you struggle. She's watching you possibly fail, but still getting up and moving forward. Like that's where I think we have to just go and do it, scared or not.
We should do a challenge.
Okay, what kind of challenge?
The three of us, we have to do something that scares the pants off us. And we have to like kind of document it along the way to getting there. I think,
And
I think that'd be brilliant.
sure, we can.
Tracy's looking at us like, I'm
Oh no,
not.
I couldn't even think off the top of my head what the challenge would be. I was just thinking that it's like be a baby. Because when you're a baby, you just
Yeah.
go. Oh, I'm gonna try to crawl. You're crawling. Oh, now I gotta try to walk. And it's scary. And but you don't even think as a baby. And even when then you go into school, you meet kids and all this stuff. And it's like, and then somewhere along the line we stop again, because
And that's because people start putting it in. So think of a kid. Think of talking to your child. when they're 4 years old. Think of talking to your grandson. So, hey, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm gonna be a surfer. I'm going to be an astronaut. They could, like, they just think big. Like they think big. And then as we grow older, then we get well, what makes you think you can be a surfer? You can't even like, what makes you think you can fly in space? You can't be a jockey. You can't be president. Like we start with this negative, like we've talked about these things, we just start these judgments. So we start pulling them down. We have to start thinking, like you said, Tracy G, like a baby, like a child. Like they are fearless.
Yeah.
How many times you see
Well,
videos?
they just don't give up. They just don't
Yeah.
give up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's so funny because when Avery is doing something and he doesn't get it on the first go, we have all said to him, you know, you just got to keep trying, you just got to keep trying. And it was so funny. The other day I was sitting there and I was trying to crazy glue these two pieces of things together. And I was getting major frustrated because I couldn't get them like just at the right point to like sit because they were so delicate. And I was sitting there and I went, and I was like, you know, wasn't working. And I went, oh, I give up on this.
Uh-oh.
He came over to me and went, Nana, you just have to keep trying. And I was like,
See,
yes, you're right. I just have to keep trying.
you know, we always see these things. We always see these things, you know, like Thomas Edison and the light bulb. He had, what was it, 1,000 failures before
Oh,
the light bulb.
gazillions, yeah.
Michael Jordan, you know, the best, one of the best basketball players. How many baskets did he miss? Great, Wayne Gretzky. How many goals that he didn't make? Like all of these things. Yet we put on ourselves, oh, I can't do that. I'm going to fail at it. Okay, celebrate that. Fail. What happens if when I tried my race the first time and I failed and I never went out for another run again? I never would have made it. Like I never would. I talk about Jason and Amber and their races. I could sit here and list how many races that they DNF, did not finish. There's not thousands, but there are. They would both sit here and talk about those DNFs without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Be a baby.
so be a baby.
Be a baby.
Be a
But
baby.
you do, you think of their mindset, right? Like they're persistent and all that, but they just go, I want to get this, whatever this is. And so I'm just going to go for it. And we need to keep that spirit in us in our 20s, our 40s, our 60s, our 80s. Like nothing is ever done.
No, no, no. I love that. I love it. So, okay, Tracy E, we got to think about what this 30-day challenge will be. Like,
Or not,
that's
I
gonna
mean, it doesn't
be-
have to be a 30-day challenge. It just has to be something I think it would be really fun if we did like a post episode whereby we come back and we say, this was something I was really, really afraid to do. And you have to be literally like, oh my God, I can't, I don't, you know, like the thought of it is just like almost cripples you, and then do it.
No, do you think we should maybe do a pre one so we can talk about our fear?
Sure.
Or,
Yeah.
and then do a post afterwards so they
Yeah.
kind of see and look at Tracy
Like
G's like,
homework.
It's called
I
growth,
didn't think
my
of a
friend, growth.
fear. What?
we didn't say when we're doing this, but
Yeah.
I think it's something to think about. And we all don't have to do it at the same time. If someone comes up with something first, allow them to do that, because I don't think we should force this. I don't think we should force what we want to do that's scary, because I don't think that's good. But I think we can, if so, I think that's what it is. So no one has homework, Tracy G, that we just like, you know, I have, like, no offense, I have the race that I'm going up to with my daughter-in-law. Then I have to go back out to Wisconsin. I have to get resituated up there at the cottage. So like my next month is busy. So for me to think about that, what am I going to do? I don't have time for that right now. Like, get away from me.
I
So
know, but it's funny because I would have thought a couple of things would have immediately come to my head. And I actually am trying to think of what I would consider scary right now. And I just find
How about
that
skydiving?
interesting.
Would you go skydiving?
I've done it.
How about
Whitewater rafting, done it.
yeah,
okay, so like, but I mean, it could be something like that, or it could be that you
I don't think it's a physical thing because
okay,
no,
you go to a
not for
networking
her.
event and you offer to speak.
sorry.
You go to a networking event and you offer to speak.
No, I don't think that's good. No, I don't like that one. Don't like that one, Tracy. Zip it, zip it. I'm going skydiving. Oh, look at you just pulling that out so quickly. Yeah, that's probably one. That's probably one. Yeah.
That's what I'm like thinking. I'm like, when you said I can't think of anything, here's me in my mind. Oh, I can think something for you. Just like you did, Tracy. I'm like, oh, but that's funny how we've gotten to know each other that we're
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know what can scare you.
Yeah.
I know what can scare you.
That is
So,
funny.
yes. So, or yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to ask the viewer if you think of something you would like to see us do that you figure might be something uncomfortable for us, you can put it in the comments and we'll take it under advisement of what that to be. But yeah, so it is something that I think that's a good point that we're like, Tracy G is like, oh, I can't think of anything, but yet we can think of something for her. And she's like, zip it. And that's unique because again, that's pushing us into a comfort zone that we don't want to go into. So we would love to hear your comments on that. So you can put them on and we will take it under advisement. We'll have a discussion on it. But please make sure, share this or like this episode. And don't forget to hit that notify to be aware of when our episode's out on a Wednesday. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.